Welcome back, friends and family. I hope you're all doing fantastic, and I hope you're interested in today's topic, which will be recording drums. More specifically, mic selection and mic placement in order to achieve a mix similar to this. So let's see what it takes to get from this beautiful sight to this one. So starting out with kick, I've been using a Beta 91, which is a PZM drum mic, and I've started using this by itself. And just with a slight EQ, you can really get some good low end with this PZM mic. I had tried with the 52 on the snare hole or the center of the kick, and it has cool results. I've tried also a few feet back. You can even do with like a kick tunnel to get some low end. But I think for my recordings, seeing as I'm really setting this up every weekend, the time I save by not installing a second kick mic and quickly correct it in a little mix, I think it's smarter, more beneficial for me. So, kick mic goes roughly in the center of the kick. Of course, you need a pillow, and yeah, pretty good to go. All right, now for snare. I don't know if I'm still in the shot, but okay. Yeah, for snare, I use pretty much a classic, the SM57. This I definitely use for bottom snare and occasionally top, but here's a little twist that I've been kind of doing. A friend of mine, Roof, has recommended me to use the Beta 87A. This is a Shure microphone. It's a condenser, a super cardioid, so it's more directional to where I want to get its source, the source of the sound. However, it does have these little pockets on the sides and at the back that capture some signal. So it's kind of tricky, like for a snare mic to be using a super cardioid, since we have cymbals that are definitely present in the recording of this mic. But nevertheless, I do think it's pretty interesting to gain some high-end frequencies from this microphone on a snare drum. So I've been using that quite a bit. Today I will be including the 57 on a top snare, and maybe in the next video I can show the comparison of these two mics. The position of these microphones are important. I usually tend to point them towards the center of the drum where it actually hits, and the capsule should be an inch away from the edges of the snare as well, in terms of depth on the inside and height-wise. All right, now for floor tom, I use another pretty classic mic, the Sennheiser MD421. It's great for your low end and for your attack. So once again, I position it towards the center of the drum where you actually strike the drum head, and maybe an inch away from the rim. And how high from the drum head? Oh, really, like millimeters. It's quite close. And the angle, in fact, is maybe at 30 or so. It's not quite 45 degrees. It's not 90 degrees towards the bottom of the drum. It's worked well like this for me. And I guess it's a good balance between getting some attack from the center of the drum where you hit it, and all that low end that builds up inside the floor. So when it comes to overhead miking, there's so many kinds of options and variables. Please understand this is my way of doing it, and there are very many different ways. So I've been using the Shure KSM 44s. Great mic all around. I use the AB technique. Both overhead mics are separated at an equal distance from the center of the drum. Now when I say the center of the kit, I mean typically the snare drum. So that's how we gauge the distance between one stand to the next. They're at maybe 5 feet from the snare drum. They're maybe 6.5 feet high. That's generally a good starting point when I use the A/B technique. If not, there's also X, Y, and Bloomline techniques where you're in the middle, but you create that stereo image field. But I've been enjoying this one. And one more point is that both stands, both overhead mics, are at the same distance from the center of the kit, but you can change its axis point so that it's maybe off axis, creating in a different sound, different tones, qualities. You pick up different elements, reverberations from the room. So yeah, a lot of variables. With this option, I find I get a good blend of articulation, definition from pointing straight at the kit. So please note the capsule are pointing straight at the center. And they're kind of far enough so that you do pick up some room tone, since this is a nice space. So when it comes to drum mic selection and mic placement, this is my typical setup. Of course, as you know, there are so many variables in terms of the different drum gear available, different mics, the position of the mic, the player, the style, the genre, and of course the mix. So these are just my 2 cents. I'm sharing what I know and where I'm at right now. So keep in touch. There will be that snare mic comparison video between the 57 and the 87A. Also, your support is greatly appreciated. Please hit that subscribe button. There will be more content coming, and I super appreciate the love. If there was anything that wasn't clear, or if you'd like to know more, if maybe you're curious about the mix process or the drum gear I use, leave a comment. I read them and I will reply. Thanks. Peace.